Welcome to the DMF. I am your host, Justin Yantz, and this is episode 51. And this is my AEW tribute to Brodie Lee. I didn't get a chance to really talk about this show in depth, so I want to talk about it now. So we are talking about the AEW tribute show for Brodie Lee. And it opens with a 10-bell salute. And it was very emotional. And Jim Ross opens with, it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. And that's Brodie Lee's catchphrase. And it seems like he's going to be doing that from now on, which is a great tribute to him. John Moxley, he talked about Brodie Lee. He talked about how, he said, "You're going to love being a father." And he's like, "How am I going to be a father? I'm not going to be a father. I like to get up at like 2 o'clock in the morning." And he said it was the best thing he's ever done. And he said that it was really special that he got to, travel the world with him because he was in WWE with him. And then he got to be in AEW with him, and they had great matches. It was really beautiful. It came from the heart. One of the quotes he said is, "He brought joy to the people around him." And that is so true from all the things that I've read and seen. He talked about Amanda and the kids. It was a really beautiful tribute. And he said, "Every day is special. Every day I spent with Brodie was special. I love you, brother, and I will never forget you." That was nice. Jim Ross said there will be more testimonials as the show goes along. We had Matt Hardy and Private Party versus the Young Bucks and Colt Cabana, and they discussed that the Dark Order and a lot of superstars would be teaming together. This was a nice little 15-minute match where Colt hit the Indie Taker, and then he just leveraged Quinn down with his Superman cover pit for the win. They showed Brodie's older son at ringside. He was wearing a Dark Order mask. Jericho was on commentary, and he said that it was that's his 2-year-old younger brother was also there. The Acclaimed walked out. They all did the Dark Order pose, which was nice. They talked about Darby Allin without the makeup talked about. He said he was so excited when he came to AEW. He said he wasn't selfish and he wanted to lift everybody up. He said he had so much knowledge and he was willing to share it with all the young guys. He said he was the man. The next match was Evil Uno and Stu Grayson and Lance Archer with Jake Roberts versus Eddie Kingston and the Butcher and the Blade. This is a nice little match. The finish was everyone was like hitting Kingston, and Jake gave him a signature short arm clothesline. It was nice. Video package played of Brodie Lee with family photos. It was narrated by various AEW guys. Colt said that Brodie couldn't wait to get home to his kids after work. He'd always race home to see his family, is the quote. The next match was Hangman Page and Alex Reynolds and John Silver versus MJF and Santana and Ortiz with Jake Hager and Sammy Guevara. It was a 13-minute match. Paige leaped off the top rope on MJF. Brodie's son, smacked him with the cane. Ross said he's having the time of his life. And then Silver clotheslined Ortiz for the win. And then they all kneeled on the mat. Eric Rowan also showed up here. And he fought off Wardlow. It was a nice pop. They called him Big Red. It was nice. It was a nice moment. It really was a nice moment. Kingston talked next. He said, as long as you're alive and you remember him and you remember his teachings, he's never gone. He told, he was talking to his kids, Brodie's kids, and he said that his father was a warrior who took care of his family. Many fathers don't do that. From the moment you were born, he loved you so much. Anna Jay and Jay Conti, they made their entrance. And that was versus, and they fought Penelope Ford and Dr. Britt Baker with Rebel. 10-minute match. Anna Jay was very emotional. And she said it was one of the most emotional matches she's ever had. They had Britt Baker in the ring, and Thunder Rosa came out. That was like the only thing that was really an angle on the show. Jim Ross plugged Snoop Dogg would be a special guest, and they ran through the card. Jericho spoke about working with Brodie Lee, and this was his time to talk. He said he worked with him 27 times. He said Alex Marvez gave him that stat. He said that he proved to everyone in AEW that he could be a main event star, and that is so true. A lot of people doubted him. I knew he could do it. He talked a story about the dog. And Jericho, the most important thing he said, I promise we will take care of your family. And to me, that's the most important thing. And that's what Brodie would want. From everything I've read and heard, is that he loved his family, so take care of his family. Dark Order's 10 and Orange Cassidy and Cody fought Team Taz. You could tell this was a very emotional match. Cody threw Starks into the arms of 10, who slammed him, and 10 got the 3 count. 12-minute match. They all paid tribute to him afterwards. Team Taz were about to, come out, and the lights went out, and Sting and Darby Allin came out first, and then Sting came out after. Cody said, you can judge a man's character by how he treats somebody who can do him no good. He said, we've heard so many stories from people who were positively affected by Brodie Lee. He was a beautiful man. Then the next thing, Brodie Lee's son, Brodie Lee Jr., and his mother, Amanda, walked out next. Tony Khan came out, and he said that his father was the greatest TNT champion of all time. I would agree. And they gave him the belt. And he said, and 10 comforted Amanda. They cried. Then they had a nice little tribute with to the tune of Old 55 by Tom Waits. It was beautiful. I thought it was really nice what they did, giving Brodie's son the TNT title and saying we're going to redesign it. This 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 belt is Brodie Lee's belt, and it wasn't an angle heavy show, other than the Thunder Rosa thing, but and maybe the Sting confrontation with Team Taz, but it was just it was beautiful stuff to see. I was so moved. I mean, I was bawling. And I was kind of like when we had company over, and I was kind of inside watching the last 5 minutes on my phone, and I was just crying. And it was so beautiful to see. But Brodie Lee was so great. As I said, I loved him in ROH with the Age of the Fall. I didn't get to see him in Chikara or PWG. He was great as Luke Harper. He was very underutilized as that character. And in AEW, got to be a top guy. And I'm certain he would have won the WWE. He would have won the AEW World Championship at one point. But it was a beautiful moment. It's right up there with Owen and the Eddie Guerrero. Well, to me, the Eddie Guerrero tribute is, tainted a little bit because they did an angle on there that didn't need to be there, and this was just Brodie Lee, the exalted one. And he will be missed, but he will not be forgotten. So I looked at some things, and I wanted to... Here are, to me, Brodie Lee's best moments in AEW. For me, number one is August 13th, the Dynamite, Cody versus Brodie Lee. This is when he wins the TNT title, when he squashed Cody, and then they did the angle afterwards, him smashing the glass over him. That was awesome. I remember seeing that, and I was like, this is what I want to see in professional wrestling, and it was so well done. He was so good. I thought that was one of the best angles I've seen in a long time, and it played out really well. The next moment for me is the dog collar match, October 7th, Dynamite. That's a great match, nice bloody brawl between him and Cody. Cody gets the title back. In hindsight now, I was upset that he lost, but now looking back at it, he got to lose the title in probably one of the best ways possible. So, what a match. The next thing for me is the reveal on March 8th of the Exalted One, Brodie Lee. He was going to be the leader of the group, and I thought that was just awesome. That is what... The next moment for me is Double or Nothing. Jon Moxley versus Brodie Lee. His first, he had stolen the title from Jon Moxley, and now Jon Moxley was facing him to get the title back. Good match. Jon Moxley ends up choking him out. But the way they did it, Brodie Lee didn't really lose any steam. He lost these matches, but he didn't lose steam. Sorry about that. As I said, I'm still getting used to this microphone. To me, those are my favorite moments. And then the last moment is probably going to be this AEW tribute. I love the moment where he was doing like Vince McMahon and he was eating a steak. And he was very much invoking McMahon. I thought that was a great moment. He did a promo with Anna Jay. I thought that was great. When he lost the title and he came out and he was... when Cody came back, that was a great moment. So many great moments in AEW in such a short time. And I feel like we were robbed of more. So now I'm going to look at some of the WWE moments that I liked. And let's see what we got here. For me, number one would probably be when he won the IC title from Dolph Ziggler, and that's on November 14th, 2014. 2014 was a good year for Brodie Lee. He defeated Dolph Ziggler for the IC title in a pretty good match. The next moment I'm going to say is Luke Harper versus Orton at the Elimination Chamber 2017. Harper had kind of like just burst back on the scene for the angle with Orton and Bray Wyatt, and I thought that was a good angle, and it's a good match. Next for me, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan versus Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. This was a good match because they were the Bludgeon Brothers, and they had a nice knock 'em out brawl, and it was good. The next match is Luke Harper versus Dolph Ziggler, TLC 2014. One of the best ladder matches you'll see. I mean, I dare you to find another one. I remember seeing that match and being like, yeah, he's a great worker. Why are we not using him more? Why is he just doing jobs? This guy could be so much more. The next moment is going to be the Wyatt family, the Shield. The Wyatt family versus the Shield, Elimination Chamber 2014. This was a great moment because we finally had that match. The next moment would be February 10th, Raw 2014. This is where the Shield and the Wyatt family had their face-off. And I thought that was a great moment. But it's hard for me, Luke Harper, Luke Harper was a great character, but he had a limit on the ceiling because they didn't really allow him to like reinvent himself the way he could have. When he became the Exalted One in AEW, he got a chance to like really be a top guy. And a lot of people didn't think he could do promos. And I was like, I was pretty certain they wouldn't put him in that role if he couldn't do it. And I was happy to see him fly in AEW. It was only in March to October. But what a mark he left on that. He gave the Dark Order new life. They were like nothing. You were like so sick of them. You were like, what is this? And when they put him with Brodie Lee, it like all clicked into place. And now they've kind of become one of my favorite factions. I'm really interested to see who takes up the mantle. I would say Marty Scurll, but he seems to have legal problems, and I don't know if they can really touch him. So I would say probably Matt Hardy would be the next guy. Maybe they'll do Anna Jay. Maybe Anna Jay is going to step up and be the leader. That would be kind of different. But yeah, Brodie Lee is he's somebody that we're going to remember. Another moment I didn't get to talk about in the tribute, I forgot, was they had Tony Khan, Brodie Lee's son afterwards with Tony Khan in the middle of the ring. That was a beautiful moment. One of the things that happened that I liked, that Adam Cole, who's, I don't know if he's engaged or he's dating Britt Baker, they were at a party and he let Brodie Lee Jr. clothesline him and pin him. And it was such a nice little moment. And AEW did something really cool. They gave Brodie Lee Jr. a contract and said that he will be, when he starts wrestling, he will be with AEW. So they've already cultivated, Brodie Lee Jr. is, the fact that some people have been harassing the family and trying to make this into something that it's not. It's not. Although I am going to say this, I think it's kind of shameful and it's upsetting to me that WWE couldn't put up they put up a graphic, that's nice, but they could have put up a video A video would have been really nice to see. He worked with everyone in that locker room. There's no reason why he doesn't get a video. So that was a little frustrating to me that he didn't get a video. But I gotta say, Brodie Lee, he's gonna be missed. FTR changed the name of their move to honor Brodie Lee. Jim Ross seems like he's going to do that. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. I think that'll be the new sign-on for Jim Ross. But that tribute, what a beautiful tribute. So nice to see. I don't know what else to say. I feel like so much more should be said. And I don't know what else I can say. I've done 2 episodes. I really wanted to honor him. I really thought about it. I said, what's the best way I can do this to honor his memory? And to me that, I don't know, it's sad. But I don't think we should be sad. I don't think that's what he wants. I don't think that's what Brodie Lee would have wanted, John Huber. I think what he wanted us to do is to smile and remember the good times. One of the great things that they did was they kept this quiet, his passing. So, like, there wasn't any, like, photos taken of him in a bad, in the shape that he was probably in at that time. But I thought this was just, Tony Khan is a good guy. AEW is a good company. I mean, WWE did some stuff with him, but, you know, they never realized what they had with that guy. Arn Anderson had told them. Arn Anderson will tell you how great Brodie Lee was. He knew it in WWE, and he knew it in AEW. And we got to see him have his moment, though. Got to see that moment. So, after talking about this, after going through everything I have done, I don't know what else to say. He's one of a kind. One of the best big men you'll ever see. Tall, big, and he could move like nobody else. Great worker. Randy Orton will tell you how great he was. So many of those guys in that back will tell you how great Brodie Lee was. Seth Rollins did a great tribute to him. Because remember, that I think they were in the Age of the Fall at the same time. So, I mean, but this is great. We got to see that tribute. If you want to do more, go on to ProWrestlingTees.com. I think they have a T-shirt there. CM Punk promised to I think was it match the proceeds of it, and as well as Mick Foley. So that's great. And AEW has a shirt out for him as a tribute. So if you want to support Brodie Lee, that's the best way to do it. Buy something from that. Just remember the good things that he did. And what a great worker. But let's not forget what a great man he was. He sounds like he was a super dad. An awesome father. We're talking about a guy who would, get out at 1 a.m. and then drive 8 hours just so he could be home. Most people would wait for the flight. He would drive home because he wanted to see his kids and his wife. That's the kind of guy he was. He's the guy who, fought for so many guys to get a chance. Even in AEW, he wanted to bring out the best in everybody. He had the idea, this is a team, and I want to bring everybody up with me. So, to that, I think we're about done here. If I can think of anything else, I'll do another episode on him. He was so great. And we were just seeing some of the unlimited potential this guy had. So, with that, I say thank you, Mr. John Huber. Thank you, Brodie Lee. Thank you for your work as Luke Harper. Thank you for all your work. And you will be missed, but you will not be forgotten. And that about does it. I want to thank you for listening. As always, you can reach me at my handle, @JustinYachts. And I will see you next time on the DMF.